With a $50 million bond borrowing bill looming overhead, Speaker BJ Cruz held an informational hearing today to find out more about the state of Guam's roads. Stakeholders gathered to discuss the issues and/or positives related to Speaker BJ Cruz's potential legislation to fix up Guam's roads. While Speaker Cruz has yet to introduce his bill, in the draft copy, he intends, through legislation, to authorize Governor Eddie Calvo to issue a series of limited obligation highway bonds to the tune of $50 million. The bond would go exclusively to fix Guam's secondary and tertiary village roads. If passed, Cruz's measure would represent the largest local investment into Guam's village roads thus far. Public Auditor Doris Flores was on hand at the roundtable discussion to answer questions about the financial viability of the bill and whether or not Guam could even afford to pay back the bond.
Overall, the funding is there from the current highway fund. The challenge this legislature is going to face is those non-highway funded projects. Where are you going to shift those to? How are you going to pay that? But if you look at highway-related projects for the repayment of the bond, as well as maintenance, the funding is there if the non-highway projects are transferred to another source of funding.
To pay off the bond, the draft bill proposes that GovGuam would pay $3.5 million a year for 25 years with an interest rate capped at 5%. Currently, GovGuam would have $17 to $19 million in funds available to pay back that bond, but Senator Tom Atta asked where the rest of the revenue would come from. This revisited DPW Director Glenn Leonguero's initial response to raise the price of fuel on Guam by raising the liquid fuel tax.
We're looking at ultimately having to raise fuel taxes, correct? To generate this revenue.
It's an excellent question. It has to be asked, but I mean, it wasn't in the original proposal, and the reason why we had the roundtable rather than the hearing was these questions have to be brought up.
You can read the draft bill online at pacificnewscenter.com.